Hey everybody. How's everybody doing? Get this out of here. There we go. Hey, Crazor. Alright, let me switch over to the song that we're working on here. So, what's everybody been doing today? It's weekend, Saturday, right? I sometimes forget what day is. Get rid of this. Oh, I gotta set this up too. All right, let's see if that works. Yep, that works. Hey, Sphax. And hi, Lack. And Mardellatron, which is a pretty cool name. Oh, 11 p.m. in France. Oh, well, I just barely made it into the window, I guess, for a good time to broadcast there. All right, so let's see here. So we're continuing work on what we started last week, which is this kind of smooth 80s thing. A bit inspired by, hey, it's big giant circles. Hey, man. So yeah, we were a bit inspired by working on Dark Side Detective and watching the show Stranger Things that everyone's talking about, which has a really fun 80s soundtrack. Okay, yeah, I've been using Cubase since 2004. Um, I have 7.5. I do not have 8.5 yet. Oh, nice. Hey, X System. Glad you could make it. And Captain Geo. Hey, I'm glad we got so many people already. This is awesome. All right, let's take a listen to this piece before we get started here. We don't have a whole lot, but it has been really fun so far. I don't really know where to take it yet, which is it's going to be interesting trying to figure out what to do with it. So that's all we got so far. I want to do kind of like another melody to sort of complement this first one that comes in. I was thinking something like a square wave or something, but I don't really know yet. So normally in the first part of the show is when I do news, but I don't really have any news to share yet right now. The FTL Advanced Edition vinyl is out now, so if you order it, you can get it. It's shipping. That's about the only news, but I think that's a repeat of before. But yeah, FTL vinyl. It's the advanced edition. It's out, and of course the original FTL vinyl is available too. So now you can order both of them and get the full set. I don't even have a record player. I have a whole bunch of them over here, and I'll be framing them. I'm gonna get like a vinyl frame, and I'm gonna get put the discs in and the cover and put them up somewhere. I haven't really figured out where to put them yet. Anyway, so this is what we have. We have this melody here that we worked on last week just before we finished up. Let me solo it so you can hear it. And we have a couple other instruments here, but we've muted. So it comes in a little bit before the measure starts. So we'll actually mute these. So yeah, I don't know what to do. I'm gonna put let's open up another Omnisphere. So these were other versions of that same melody with different instruments that we decided not to use. Although I do like this. We'll probably use this for something else. And then, I don't know what this is. I think this is the original one that we didn't like. Yeah. We decided that didn't fit, so we got rid of that one. I was also thinking of changing up the chord progression here, too. So we have it like, here's what it sounds like now. This is the bass line. was thinking of making it more like maybe putting in like a major chord in there instead of what we have right now. Actually, I don't really know. I don't even remember the notes now. Let's see here. This is what happens when you leave something for a week. You don't really remember what you were working on. Keybase upgrade sale. Yeah, you know, I haven't even checked to see what updates they've done for version 8. Usually the changes are pretty small and or don't really apply. Like a lot of the changes in 7 were to like this channel strip view with all of these nice like little additions here, so you could like look at all your tracks channel settings at once, but I never use it, so it wasn't really useful for me. Let's open up Omnisphere, a new one, because I love Omnisphere. I have something like let me look through here. Oh, you know what? What is an 80s track without cheesy synth bells? Let me see here. What does I see here? We have retro bells. All right, I like the sound of this already. Oh, is that what we already had? Man, I love the sound of that, but I don't know if it's really what we want here. Yeah, I pretty much spend most of my time in the editor. Big Giant Circles is talking about using FL Studio's piano roll editor, and yeah, I gotta say I spend a lot of my time in the piano roll editor, and that's the editor in question here. It allows you to place notes and move them around, and it's very useful to have. And I've always wanted like a portable digital audio workstation that had a piano roll editor. It'd be so cool. Omnichord. Okay. So that's going against my no suggestions policy. But I think I might make an exception. Man, I'm going to keep this thing because I like it so much. But we won't use it right now. So, for those of you who don't know, Big Giant Circles is a fellow game musician, and he's done a lot of cool stuff. You should check out his work if you haven't already. I think I've actually used that one before. Yeah, if you haven't heard the story, you're talking about difficulties with other digital audio workstations, and if you haven't heard the story, the reason I use Cubase is because back in like 2001, I asked Jesper Kyd, the sort of famous game musician, what he used in an email, and he said Cubase, and I was like, sold, done. So I've been using that ever since. Yeah, okay, this'll work, I think. We'll have it a bit slower than this other item. Geez, I don't remember what it's called. Let's give it a name here. Fat Sid Lead. Okay, so we got a good start here, and now I gotta come up with the rest of the melody. Sometimes that's a good way to approach it. Just be like, you have like an idea for the start of a melody, and just start it. And you just like, I just did those first 3 notes. I have no idea where it's going after this. But, you know, just give it a start and then try to figure out where you want it to go. Sometimes listening to it over and over will help. Yeah, really, like, a lot of people ask me, like, what's the best digital audio workstation? And honestly, I'm not qualified to answer that, first of all. But a lot of it has to do with just, like, what works best for you and what you happen to know the best. I could have done just as many cool things with other workstations had I known them as well years ago. But Cubase, I don't know, Cubase is very robust. And a lot of professionals use it. And that was sort of why I started using it. This needs a different color. Sometimes when I'm just listening to it, it'll just like come into my head, and I'll be able to figure out where I want it to go. Oops. Another note there. Yeah. It's a little bit predictable, but let's listen to the whole thing again. Jimmy asks, or Big Giant Circles asks, regarding the piano roll, when you're clicking in notes, if you misclick, do you have to hit delete every time? I'm not quite sure what you mean, but if I misclick a note, I usually just hit Control Z to undo really fast. So I have this kind of thing set up where I have like the select and pen are right next to each other. It's 1 and 2 on my keyboard, so I can switch between them really fast. And then for messing up notes, I just do Control Z. There's also like doing this, but this is like, I find this a little bit clumsy. Where you right click and then you select from a little menu, little pop-up menu, but yeah, I don't like that. Can you, oh, so he's asking, can you click and drag notes, or is it just sort of whatever you click is either right or wrong? So I can switch back to the selector and then move notes around, or I can do this, like, or do octaves by shift up and down, or just go. So yeah, you can use the number keys. You can't go left and right. That selects instead. You can even do select back and forth. I hope that helps. But yeah, it's really useful, and once you get the hang of like switching back and forth between the pen and selecting, that's when you get like, when you can start doing stuff really fast. And then, oops, I messed that up. I can move it up, or I can just select it and then move it around with the arrow keys. I can just select it all, do that. But yeah, I have all my tools on the number keys so that I've got like select as 1, and then the pen is 2. 3 is to cut, so you can like, if you draw a long note, you can like cut it into 2 notes like that. 4 is glue, so I can glue those back together like that. 5 is erase, which I don't really use that much. 6 is to zoom. 7 is mute, which I do use a lot. You can just do this and it'll mute the notes. Use that a lot for drum parts. You like write a drum part and then you copy paste that, so you like double it, and then you go and you mute a few pieces here and there so it sounds a little different. So yeah, part of like why I'm really quick with Cubase is that I've also built shortcut keys to like accommodate how I do things. So I make it really easy to use the my most frequent things, my most frequent actions. And like at this point, I've been using this shortcuts for so long, I don't really remember like which ones are default and which ones I'd put in myself. I do know that like to load up the channel settings view, which I use a lot, I hit the tilde key, and that is a holdover from when I used to play Quake, and when you wanted to bring the console down, you'd hit the tilde. And this feels similar to the console because you're like editing the track itself. And so that's like, it was already intuitive for me to like hit the tilde to get options for controlling things. So that's what I did. So tilde does that, and that's my own shortcut. Trying to remember some of the other ones. I have like the instrument view as a /, just because it was a unique spot on the keyboard that wasn't assigned to anything else. Hey, no problem, Jimmy. This is like what this is for. I think people still find it like useful for if I talk about workflow stuff too. So no need to apologize on that. This is all about just me talking about what I do and how I do it and everything. So. So intuitively, I want to go down to this as the next note in this melody. So like, and then I want to go, whoops, here, but here. Yeah, Monktastic. It's funny that I imported some of my workflow from Quake to this. Quake really like taught me a lot about computers and like working on things, like doing a project with a computer, because I used to do a lot of stuff with mods on Quake 1, and so a lot of my mindset comes from that, I think. Yeah, I was a huge fan of Quake 1 back when it came out. Mardellatron asks, do you have any advice relating to coming up with melodies? Or is it something you can't really control? So yeah, sometimes it's hard for me to describe how I write melodies, because it is like, of all the things in music theory, writing melodies for me is the most like intuitive thing that I can't really describe, sort of just like flows out of me. Like I have a hard time with chords. And so I have to take a very like more scientific approach with chords, but melodies just sort of come out. So I wish I could describe them better, but a lot of it has to do with like just making patterns and then repeating those patterns and just placing the notes at different pitches. Like if you listen to this, like take a look at this. Did you notice that this and this are the same pattern, and they happen in the same spot in the measure? But this one is, I think, a fifth above this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, it's a fifth. So it may help to think of like when you're writing a melody to first write a very basic thing, like as though you were writing just, let me mute these and this stuff. So like, so like there you have like it doesn't sound great, but it's like a working melody. It functions. And then once you've like written that out, which is really simple, you can start adding in the stuff like in between. And I think there are terms for this, but I forget what like terms between difference between like really important and then like less important notes, and I just don't remember because my music theory has never been the best. I've never been formally trained in music theory, so I've always everything I got was out of books and self-teaching. So, and then this here is also similar to like this here. This part is a little different from the others, these triplets here. I don't really have an explanation for that. It just felt right to do it, so that's why I did that. So I hope that helps a little bit with like with melody writing. To me, the best thing you can do, the best way you can support melody writing is just start with a solid chord progression. And the chord progression doesn't have to be complicated. In fact, it may help, especially early on, to just make simple chord progressions like I have here, which is sort of started with this bass line. Just like make that, and then once you have a good, for me anyway, if I have a good chord progression, the melody comes a lot easier. If I don't have a good chord progression, then writing a melody is next to impossible for me. So, okay, so let's get back to this thing that we were writing. Yeah, so that's my intuition wants I want to do that, but it seems too obvious also. So I might not actually do this. Let's just mute them for now. And let's go through this again. What does this sound like? Ooh, that is nice. Oh yeah, I like that. Let's get rid of these. Oh, there's one other thing I want to recommend when talking about melodies. A book I found, and I haven't finished reading all of it yet. Let me go grab it. It's right here. So, this book is called Composition for Computer Musicians, and it is really cool. I'm not all the way through it. I'm like halfway through it. I picked this up specifically so that I could find something to recommend to people who want to get started doing computer music. And you should definitely check it out. But anyway, the book goes into detail about like writing melodies and like the patterns you can make, and it all does it in, instead of like showing you sheet music, although it does show you some sheet music, it will show you in like an editor like this one. So it makes more sense for computer musicians. So yeah, it's worth checking out. Oops. Oop. Go like this, maybe? So usually when I'm placing notes, I have my hand right near the Control Z so that I can quickly undo. You know what? In fact, I may, now that we're talking about it, I may just make undo just the Z button, because I don't think Z does anything else in here. Hey, you guys ever have that thing where you're using your workstation or any kind of program and you accidentally hit a key that you don't have assigned to anything, but it might be assigned to something, and you're just like, what did I just do? Did I just turn off some feature that I'm never gonna know how I turned it on, how to turn it back on? Because I get that all the time. Oh yeah, that's nice. Let's keep going with that. Oh, that's right. Audio Sprite says, I think default Z enlarges the current track and makes all the rest the smallest size, which I hate. So I may reassign it. Oh, I know. This is like the worst. So watch what happens when I hit Z. Blech. And then I'm like, I can't work with this. And then I have to, like, zoom it back out again. I've done that so many times by hitting that. So yeah, I may just reassign that, and because it is the worst thing and I don't understand it. And then if Z is just undo, it'll be a lot easier. Save a little bit of time. Whoa, Vim. Monktastic just mentioned Vim. I haven't used Vim in forever. But I used to use it when I worked at Google. Yes, I did. I did work at Google a long time ago, back in 2005 through 2007. So now we can tie this in thematically with the rest of it by having oops, wrong placement. It's supposed to go here. Sorry, there's a lot of stuff in the chat that I'm missing. I was never a coder at Google. Although, well, I guess I did a little bit of code, but I wasn't hired as a coder. I was this is early days at Google, and I was hired on as a person who would fix, like repair servers. It was mostly like I would go around in a data center, a local data center in Silicon Valley area, and I would plug. I would get a list of machines every day that were like machines that the servers couldn't reach. They were like servers that the network were, for whatever reason, they weren't responding. And so I would have this little cart, and it had a monitor, like this little tiny black and white monitor and a keyboard, and I would plug into that machine, and I would try to figure out what's wrong with it. And then from there, I would usually end up just replacing parts. That was usually, like, I was there in the data center so that I could actually replace hardware that was busted or whatever. So it was usually just swapping out hard drives. And in fact, that was our title, was Swapper. Sort of informal title. And then as I was there for a while, I did more diagnostics, and I started writing little codes, like little scripts, shell scripts that would diagnose machines for me. And I did a lot of stuff in test labs. And it was really fun. It was such a great job. Get rid of that. And you know, working at Google is really cool anyway. They knew how to throw cool parties, and there was lots of food. We played pool a lot. Let's listen to this from the beginning, since it's been a while. This is too loud. Turn that down a little. Whoops. I don't know if I like this yet. Yeah, that's better. Oh yeah, Cubase does this new thing that really bugs me, is that when I close it's the piano roll editor, it scrolls up to the top of the project, and then I have to scroll back down to look at what I was working on. And I'm not really sure why that started happening. I must have hit one of those keys, the mystery key. Spacetown Savior asks, "Hey Ben, what are you planning for this track in terms of percussion?" Well, it just so happens that I actually have percussion stuff lined up for this. I think I even wrote some, yeah. So we've got some other pieces here that I had put together before I even started this. We have another bass thing. So we'll get to that eventually, but not yet. It'll be really cool though when we do. All right, we got some other questions. Evesira, I'm not really sure how you pronounce your name, asked this before, but I think it got lost in chat. Do you ever get stuck not being happy with what you're writing for a project? If so, how do you get over that? Usually I just stop working on whatever it is that I'm not happy with and move on to something else. With any given project, I have lots of tracks that I need to write, so if I've got something I'm stuck on, like for example right now, there's a piece in Dark Side Detective that I've been working on for a couple of weeks, and I don't like it. It's not terrible, but it's not really coming together really well the way I want it to. So I usually stop, and then I just like, well, I'll just work on some other track that I need to for the same game, and then I can do something else that I like, and I start to enjoy it more, and then much later I can come back. There was a time with FTL, in fact, with I always forget the names. I can't even remember my own tracks. Let me go look it up on Bandcamp. I think I've talked about this before, but let's see here. Zoltan. I remembered it just before it loaded. Zoltan is in 5/4 time, and it's really like very difficult for me. I really love 5/4 time, but I have a very hard time working in it. Anyway, I didn't like it. It wasn't coming together. I was about to ditch it, and I was like, you know what? I'll just stop. I'll work on something else. I think I ended up working on Rockman or something. And then when I came back to it, I didn't hate it as much. I was like, oh, you know what? I could turn this into something good. And then I kept going, and I finished it, and it worked. So yeah, that's sort of how I deal with it. All right, I put in the dark super saw here. Yeah, that's nice. Oh yeah, listen to Big Giant Circles. Complete plus Omnisphere is Powerhouse. You should definitely get that. That's like, you're pretty much set for life. Like, I bought Complete 6 back in 2010, and I still use it to this day. It is that useful. And now that I got Omnisphere, I pretty much only want to use it. I don't want to use anything else. All of these, I'm pretty sure like every preset is Omnisphere. It's that good. We got another question from Quillenink. I'm not really sure how to pronounce that either. Sorry, everybody. Following that question, how often do you just start over on a track? It's actually pretty often, but it's slightly different than what you're expecting in that I start over on a track very quickly. Like, I will work on something and I will maybe only write like 20 seconds or just like a melody or something, and then I'm like, I don't like this, and I ditch it and I start a new thing. And then I work on that, and I might ditch that too and start a new thing. All of my projects folders are filled with all of these like tracks that are just like 5% of a song that just went nowhere, that I just ditched and then moved on. It's very rare that I get through like an entire song to get to like 70% done and then I restart and I just ditch it all, although it has happened. It doesn't happen that often. Yeah, part of the reason why I like Omnisphere so much is that I can just load up presets and not have to edit them too much. And if I do want to edit them, it's like really easy to do. It has a great interface too. It treats samples a lot like you might treat synths, I think, in the way that it presents them to you. I don't know how to really describe it, but it makes it easy. Okay, so I want to keep... This is sounding so good, I just want to keep going, even though I'm just repeating the same stuff over and over again. But it sounds good. Hey, Grayson! Master Sword! You made it! I was gonna send you a message too, because I know you messaged me, and then I was like, well, I don't want to like wake her up. Because I know how rough it's been. Hey Grayson, I live near San Jose, so I'm quite far from LA. But it's not unreasonable to drive down for a trip. I came down to do the vinyl signing not too long ago. Wow, 63 people! How did that happen? Ooh, I like that. Hang on. Oops, that's not the one. Hey, Zeal. Zeal asks, "Are you a lefty?" I am not a lefty. I am a righty. Right hand. I guess, yeah. Well, I don't usually collaborate with anybody, but yeah, maybe we'll collaborate sometime. That could be fun. I think we have similar composing styles, so that might help a lot. And yeah, Jimmy, feel free to pester me whenever you want about Cubase. I don't mind answering questions. Did you guys look up what what Big Giant Circles does? 'Cause pretty cool stuff. I think you guys will be impressed. You know, I still haven't added the bells. Hang on, was this it? No. Oh, this is that really cool... Man, maybe we'll use this too. Snowcliff asks, do you have Omnisphere 1 or 2? I have 2. I don't even know if you can get Omnisphere 1 anymore. This will have to be like a solo thing. I still haven't put in the cheesy bells yet, so let's load those up. Find some. I got distracted by using this other Omnisphere patch. Let's see what we got here. Bells synth sounds like a good start. That's pretty cheesy. There we go. This is what I was thinking of. Sounds like it's 2 different synths, or it's got like a saw or something going on there too. Mageno? Not really sure. Oh yeah, Grayson, we gotta collaborate on that rap album at some point. Or maybe we'll just do all Africa covers. Mageno asks, why did you load Omnisphere as an instrument rather than creating a rack instrument and assigning one of its channels to a MIDI track? Because I don't have to worry about it. I just don't care. I just load them all as instruments and do that. I know that it's more efficient to load it up as a rack, but like, I don't know. This is easy. This is just what I do. I kind of, No, Grayson, we do Africa covers. Each track would be a different style. Hey, Megan. So yeah, I know that like it's more efficient, but I built a very powerful machine to run Cubase on, so that I wouldn't have to worry about efficiency. Because I did spend many years making music on underpowered machines, and it was always a pain in the ass. So as soon as it was like, oh look, FTL exploded, and I can actually spend money on like a nice system, I just built it myself, and it's really nice now. That was another skill I picked up from Google, being able to build my own systems. can kind of see what I'm going for, but... Hang on. I do not have 256 gigs of RAM. I have, I'm not really sure how much. But, I don't really remember what I put in this thing. But it's definitely not 256 gigs. I don't know where that came from. Hello, new viewers. Let's go back to the beginning. I'm not quite sure what to do here, so let's start it over. These are supposed to be smaller. Worry about that later. Actually, it might be good to just have it like have these instruments playing by themselves for a little while and then transition to something else. Yeah, because we're doing like, we've got this thing repeating like forever. I really want to like have something different. I just don't know what yet. Hey, see you later, Monktastic. I will see you next week, next Saturday. We'll keep working on this thing, I think. Hey, Uniting Milk. Just change the softplex to orchestra hits. We'll just change everything to orchestra hits. It's just constant. Like really, really bad, like 1992 orchestra hit. We could transition over to the new bass line. But I don't know if that would solve my issue. It is a cool transition, but I don't know if we're ready for that yet. Not ready for that kind of commitment. Whoa, what did I just do? Kind of messing that up as I was doing it, but whatever. Whoop. Or don't want to do that. Hey, the Doctor Who. I'm doing pretty good. Thanks for joining in. All right, see you later, Grayson. Thanks for coming by. I hope I see you at another event sometime soon. Doctor Who asked, Ben, have you ever used Cubase? I am using Cubase right now, in fact. I have been using Cubase for a long time. 13 or so years, maybe more. I don't remember now. Audio Sprite asks, "Hey Ben, do you know if there's a good book on developing slash making variations on themes?" I don't know of a good book on that. Although, well, there's a book called "Composing Music: A New Approach," and it's on my blog. I wrote about it, and it's like an activity book. Like each chapter is like it gives you a challenge of like writing a theme or a melody, and it gives you these really restrictive limitations and how to write it, and it kind of like helps teach you how to use like specific patterns and rhythms to like come up with themes. That might be a good one to check out. The composing for computer musicians that I pointed to earlier also. I'm sorry, composition for computer musicians. This one also talks about writing melodies and themes, and but yeah, I'm not really sure. Like, I kind of want to introduce like a major chord into this. I'm just not sure what major chord yet. What will fit the best. That was actually pretty cool. Hang on. Combine. Oh yeah, another thing, another shortcut key that I made was I make the plus sign the record button. And that's really good. I think the multiply key on the number pad is also record. Yeah, it is. It's always good to have a single button for record, so as soon as you come up with an idea, you can hit it really quickly and keep going without without it getting really bad. So that's another thing I wanted to mention about melody writing, and I kind of forgot when someone was asking about it much earlier in the show. And one great way is to set up your chord progression, put it on loop, and then sort of just trying to improvise over it. Just like keep coming up with ideas. Or instead of looping it, just make it really like loop it forever, like for like 5 minutes in your workstation, and then just record constantly and just like improvise. And like at some point you'll hit on something interesting, and because you were recording the whole time, you can like go back and listen to it and find the things that worked. And that can be like a really good way to like come up with melodies. That's pretty cool. I kind of want to do another different chord. So we started with... Oops. Hmm. Let's go back a bit and listen to this. Cool. Cool. To start a guitar solo. Yeah, that would be awesome. If only I could play guitar well enough to warrant doing a solo. I don't know about having this in there. I'm gonna mute that for now. I don't know. It doesn't really sound right. See you later, X System. Yeah, this has got to be a record for number of viewers on this show. Usually it's like hovers around 40, 30, somewhere between like 30 and 55, I guess, is like where it usually is. Oh, sorry, Snowclef, you asked, what are your favorite reverbs? I actually use pretty much only the like built-in reverbs of Cubase. Cubase has a bunch of them. Roomworks, which I used extensively in pretty much all my projects, and Reverence, which I'm sort of getting into more. Reverence sounds really good. There it is without it, and here it is with it. Super good. But no effect. So yeah, that's what I use generally. I don't actually know anything. I never use what is it called? Revelation. I don't really know anything about it. I haven't really used it yet. I should probably check it out sometime. Hey, Huangman. could make it. I haven't seen you in a while. Oops. Okay, I got some questions here. Uniting Milk asks, is there any secret to making cool percussion lines? I always want to put like bongos and tambourines in songs, but I often end up just stealing other song ideas for it because I don't know what to do. Yeah, that's just going to involve lots of listening to drum lines and how other people do it. At least that's how I've gotten it. Again, I keep coming back to this, and I'm gonna start writing about this book because it is really good. Composition for Computer Musicians has a whole section on how to write cool drum parts. But yeah, it's something that you're gonna have to like. I feel like you just have to feel out over time. Definitely study other ones. Figure out where like study the velocity of percussion just as much as anything else. Like, not just the pattern, but think about how heavily each part of percussion is being hit. Is it really light? Is it really loud? That will help you a whole lot in like figuring out how to do stuff. I should probably name these tracks, huh? What's this? Hangman, I'm actually really liking Omnisphere. I love it. I use it all the time now. It is a great piece of software. It makes things a lot easier. It's very easy to find cool stuff really quickly. Audio Sprites says, so how about that Metal Gear Solid 2 ending? Yeah, for those of you who don't know, I've been trying to play through all the Metal Gears because I never played any of them past the first one, past Metal Gear Solid. So I've been playing through them all, and I finished Metal Gear Solid 2 last night and started Metal Gear Solid 3. Metal Gear Solid 2 was pretty fun. I really enjoyed it a lot, and the ending was just as weird and crazy as I was hoping. Still stuck on this last measure of this new melody that I started. Crazor has a good suggestion here, and I'm going to speak it out for the YouTube viewers later. Crazor says, for rock patterns, I like to just figure out the drum parts of cool songs. Import a song into your digital audio workstation and try to double the drums. I learned a lot about rock drumming that way. That is a great suggestion. Import a song, listen to the drums, see if you can try to recreate it with your own like drum kit thing. That is totally a good way to like teach yourself, I think. Let's go. Let's see. Whoops. We're not ready for that. I think that's what I wanted. That was what I was picturing in my head. Or at least close to it. So we just glued these together, and now we're going to quantize. Actually, I didn't do too bad a job here. Quite proud of myself. Some of it's a little off, but not bad. We're still going to quantize it, though. We are doing full quantize, right? Yeah. Oh, see you later, Megan. Thanks for joining in. Guess we don't need this first part here. Delete that crap. Hi, Donald. Yeah, I'm doing good. Thanks. I'm glad you like Color Sky. Yeah, that's one of my some of my best work in that, I think. Hang on, what am I doing here? Getting confused. That's what I'm doing. That's the note C. Might be too low. What does this sound like? So one of the fun things about writing a new chord progression is you can try out melodies that you already wrote with the new chord progression, and they will sound very different, and it will be exciting and new. Sometimes they won't work. But we can take this and be like, what does this sound like with this? For one thing, it is way too loud for this part, so let's turn it down here. See, that like added new life to this one thing. Okay, so first of all, let's make this a little louder. This is too quiet. It's already at max right now, so we will use this maximizer to make it a little louder. Might be a little sonically confusing, like too much going on. We can like edit it later. Sniper16 asks, do you use a keyboard synth when making music or just the tools on the PC? Everything's software. However, I do have a musical keyboard here in front of my PC keyboard that you can see. But yeah, everything's software. I used to do hardware stuff, but it's expensive and clunky, and too difficult to integrate with my workflow. It's much easier to use software instruments, so you can get results much quicker, and it's more fun in general. And yeah, it's I'm pure software. Okay, I kind of like where this is going now. This is pretty cool. Let's listen to it all in context here. Uh, Crazor says that lead synth deserves a comeback soon. Oh, it will. This will definitely come back when we get the drums back in, and I'm thinking maybe to bring it back in soon here. Don't know, not sure yet. Keep that out of the way. Whoops. Let's record that and see how it is. That's good enough. Well, that last one was terrible. Do we want it this way or this way? Maybe we want it this way. Yeah, I kind of like it like that. Thanks, Quill. I'll see you later. We're probably going to wrap this up pretty soon, too. 3:48? Yeah. This has been a longer episode than normal, but I also have been talking a lot more than normal. That's kind of a neat thing. Hang on. Yeah, this is it. I like this though. I'm gonna keep going with this. That's pretty bad, but it works. Yeah, that works. That's kind of neat, right? Sounds pretty cool. So we just made a little part here. Let's hear this all together. Back to about here. First of all, this is too loud, so we'll have to turn this down a little bit, like that. Okay, we got questions here. Jano asks, I have two questions before you go. Do you only work on this track during streams, so we pick up at this point next week? And will you be attending game dev events in Europe this summer? One, we'll probably pick this one up next week. Let's just try to get this thing all the way to the end. But sometimes I do other things, like I'll work on my game soundtracks, and you can actually see me play. Like I'll play the game and I'll work on the music at the same time. I haven't done that in a while, but maybe we'll do that soon. Second, I don't have any plans to go to any gaming events um, this summer, unfortunately. Not going to Indiecade either this year. Master Sword asks, have you confirmed that you're going to PAX South? Not yet. We really got to get on that. I got to, like, bug all my friends and everything and get that, make that into a real thing. No live shows yet. Still working on the live show thing. It's going very slowly because I spend all day writing music for my projects, and then by the end of the day I just want to play a game or read or something. So I haven't really spent a lot of free time on working on the live show yet. So it's going pretty slowly, unfortunately. But it's going. I have a lot of cool little things that I've been working on for live music, and I think it'll be pretty cool when it actually happens someday. Let's listen to this one more time all the way through here, from beginning to end. Just keep this out for this part. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Okay, we got another question from Mardelitron. One more question. How long on average does it take for you to finish a project? If by project you mean like one track, like this is a project that we're working on right now. Generally between like 8 and 16 hours of work, I would say. But it can really vary. Like sometimes I get something done in as little as like 3 hours. That's really rare. And then sometimes a track will take me a lot longer because I'm struggling with it, or for whatever reason I can't get it to work. So then it takes a lot longer. But yeah, I would say somewhere between that 8 and 16 hours is like the average. Thanks, Adam Pause. I'm glad you like it. And yeah, you're welcome, Snowcliff. I'm glad you enjoyed it too. Oh, we got a really good question here. Clone Cone says, "Do you think Fruity Loops is shitty production software?" No, I don't. I've used it a little bit, but not much. I'm sure it's not shitty. Um, Although Jimmy earlier was here, Big Giant Circles, and he was saying that he was gonna drop it for Cubase because he didn't like it. I guess it is kind of buggy, so people have a hard time with it sometimes. But a lot of people swear by it; they love it, so I'm sure it's quality. I really only know Cubase and Ableton. Those are the only ones I've really used. And Ableton, I know very little about. I should put text somewhere that says this is Cubase, because it seems like what software is this is a really common question. So, yeah, I think we need to put it somewhere really obvious. Anyway, thanks everybody. This has been awesome. I love how this track is going. This has been really cool and really fun. And thank you everybody for joining in. Follow me on Twitter. I'm Ben Prunty on Twitter. Follow this page, the Twitch channel. I do this every Saturday, 2 p.m. Pacific time. Maybe be doing more of these in the future. I don't know. Tuesdays and Thursday evenings, around 7:30 p.m. Pacific time. I play video games with friends or just by myself. Right now we're playing through Evil Within and Metroid Prime and Quake 1. Those are the games that we've been sort of switching back and forth between. And but yeah. I'm excited to see where this goes. Oh, cool, because OC Remix retweeted. Nice, yeah. OC Remix was a big part of my life for many years. And I will see you guys later. Thank you, everybody. I love y'all. I couldn't do any of this without your support. All of my income comes from people buying my music. And so, you guys are awesome. Thanks a lot. Talk to you guys later. Stop streaming. Yeah.